them, I looked at where I had my high numbers, and with a steam engine, you want to go for it when he's got a full head of steam, because that's your maximum power. So I waited till he tooted the whistle, and I didn't screw around. I went right to the top. And that's how I got these high readings, and he had a tremendous, and if they could keep the fire going and keep it hot, keep building steam, it'll keep on going. But the minute that steam pressure drops, you see it right away. Now this engine I can't stop, well I can stop him just like I did the old Rumley, but he probably won't start again. Because this is a single motor, and if I stop him, center pin, it won't start turning. Whereas that Rumley I did. That's a twin, so I stopped him dead with the full throttle, and then as soon as I backed off boat, he took off again. So he normally plows with this engine, but they called the plowing off today because there's many people in there parking cars where we need to plow, I guess. Which I guess is a good problem to have. Yeah, okay. But, oh yeah, we were talking about boiler horsepower, and some of them, like that big Rumley, is rated at 120. Well, no, that is Bell's horsepower, but they also call the rating of, I think it was 36 or something like that. Well, anytime you see two numbers, like you look over here, the big Rumley oil pull is a 3060. The cross motor case is a 4072.
30 with a plow.
What they're doing with that is when they say, like the Rumley 3060, 30 is what you should get at the hitch. If you hook up to something, you should have 30 horsepower to pull your plow, your wagons, whatever you're pulling. And the 60 is what you should get if you put it on the belt. Same with the case, the 4072. 40 on the drawbar, 72 on the belt. They did that for a while, and then they just went away from that. Now it's pretty much just a standard one number of horsepower. But and I know another question I get asked quite often is, how is the horsepower different that a steam engine makes versus a gas tractor or a diesel engine or a semi-truck? Doesn't matter. There is no difference. Horsepower is horsepower. It's ability to do a job in a certain amount of time. The difference comes in how it's manufactured. Steam engines are with steam and slow speed. Modern day engines, of course, are with diesel or gas and a high speed. So that's, if you could put your car in here, jack it up, and I could throw the belt on the tire, I could get a horsepower reading at what you're putting on the wheel. Horsepower is horsepower. Your lawnmower, you can measure what your horsepower your lawnmower is making. This machine can do, I've done as little as 10 horsepower on here, and I've done as high as 200 and somewhere in the 250 to 280 range. So we can do just about anything. Well, now the Rumley's on its way up here. Like I said, that particular steam engine is owned by a Western Minnesota Steam Thrashers Reunion. It was run every year up until a couple, 3 years ago. These engines are inspected. And if they get too thin, or something is not right, if the steel rusts enough, whatever, you cannot run them. They don't pass inspection. That engine was at that point. It was no longer runnable. So they took and rebuilt it. They started a fund drive and they raised enough money. So that engine has been completely rebuilt now. I believe it was a brand new one. So now that engine is about as good as it can be. So now they're playing with it. So it belongs to the show. Different people take turns running it. So we will bring that one up, melt it up again. And if you hang around, I'll stall it out again. I'll do the stall test where I stop it totally dead. No movement, no horsepower. And then I'll just back off the load. The scale will probably show when it's stopped. Today, let's see, the scale read somewhere around, it was between 5 and 550 pounds on the scale, and the engine was stopped dead. So at that point in time, I had something like 2,700 foot-pounds of torque on the belt. There was that much stored power right there. And all I did is back off on the scale just a little bit, and away it went. So you can't do that. You take a new farm tractor, stop it, it's done. You take your car, if it dies, you got to start it again. The twin-cylinder steam engine or a DC electric motor are the only two things that you can stop dead and then release some load and it'll start going again. And you'll see that. We'll do it again. If we get the belt tightened up and get everything so it holds, we'll do it. And it doesn't hurt the engine at all. It'll sit there with full throttle, steam pressure is there. You just stop it. The belt stop moving, the steam is just there. It'll sit like that. You release the power and away it goes. So we'll bring him up, checking horsepower, and the machine is called a Prony brake. And that's what it is. It's just a simple mechanical brake. When I'm doing a test, you'll see me turn on this wheel. As I tighten this wheel, what I'm doing is squeezing this brake band around the wheel that's spinning, applying a brake, just like you step on the brake in your car or your pickup. So as I apply that brake and the wheel is spinning, it pushes down on the scale, which in turn, it shows me how much load I'm putting on. So when I'll start doing my test, I'll apply the brake, and then whatever number I get on here, say I run it up to 200 pounds on the scale. Well, then in this little box here, it's just a tachometer. It's telling me how fast this main shaft is turning. So if I see 200 on my scale, and I look at my tachometer, and I see 300 RPM, I multiply 200 by 300 and divide by 1,000. And that gives me 60 horsepower. And that's what we're doing. The formula states you're supposed to divide by 5,250, but our arm, this arm that comes from the center shaft out to the scale is 5 1/4 feet long. So that changes the calculations to 1,000. So that's basically, and the water, you'll see water splashing every time you start and stop. The only thing the water does is cool it. Anytime you apply a brake, even rubbing your hands together, your hands get warm, well, that's friction. And I have a tremendous amount of friction up here, and it's generating a lot of heat, so the pulley is filled with water, and all that's doing is taking the heat away, so I don't overheat my brake. The brake itself, if you look at this band, all these bolts, under each set of bolts is a wood block. That's what my brake material is. It's a oak or an ash, I believe it's oak, but it's a hardwood block, and that's all we have for the brake. And then in between the blocks, if you see kind of a whitish substance, that's my lubrication, that's beef tallow. We just go to the butcher shop and get chunks of fat. And we pack it in there, and then as the brake warms up, the fat melts, and that's what's lubricating. And I often get asked, how long do those wood blocks last? This machine was built by members here. It's never been anywhere but here since the day it was new, and we have yet to replace the blocks. And it's at least, we were trying to remember the other day, it's at least a dozen years, maybe 15, somewhere in that neighborhood. And actually, some of you might not be able to see it, but if you look at the blocks on the bottom, they're all nice and square, just like the day they were made. If you look at the blocks on the top, they're kind of rounded. The gaps in between are kind of chewed out and rounded. That's the birds. The wood is soaked with the beef tallow and they sit peck on it. So they've done just about more damage than we have. But when you pull it hard, even though you've got the water running wide open, you can hear the wood blocks crackling and you can smell wood burning. When you get up around that 800 pounds, you don't hold it there very long. You can smell it and hear it. So Well, you see he's got the belt on. He's rolling it to see what it looks like. It looks pretty good from this end. So what we'll do here, I'll talk to him and see when he gets his full steam up, and we'll do some numbers, and then I'll talk to him, and if the engineer is willing to let me do it, I will stop him dead. He'll have full throttle. He won't do anything. I will stop him if the belt holds, and he'll just sit there. And not closing the throttle, not doing anything. It'll just stop. And it'll sit there for as long as I want it to, and then I'll just release the brake, and it'll take right back off again. So, as I said, this one belongs to Rollag. I believe it's a 19. I think it's around 1911, 1912 is the age on this engine, I believe. I'm going to dig out the sheet. I would hate to have to go and do what he did. It sounds like they blew the whistles, so they must be going to do the test again. Try it.
Filming a documentary. I'm filming a documentary. Just look at what he means.
Okay, he's ready now, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pull him down and keep pulling him down, and hopefully, if the belt doesn't let loose, I will stop him dead and let him sit there, and then I can calculate and tell you how much load is on that belt just standing still. So he's ready, he's got his hand on the throttle in case the belt should come off. So here we go, I'm going to bring him up. You watch my scale, it's going to get way up over 800 pounds before I get him stopped. Okay, here we go. Coming up on 400, 500 right now. Coming up on 600, you can hear him starting to work. I got to. Okay, well he's down on steam a little bit. We've got to watch our belt. You can hear him just barely. Okay, there I got him. His throttle's wide open. He's ready to go. And right now we're sitting, he's down a little bit. We're sitting at 330 pounds on the scale. That's 1,732 foot-pounds of torque just sitting there waiting to do something. And it'll sit there. Doesn't hurt the engine because the steam isn't being sent anyplace. So it'll just sit there. And all I have to do is back off, see if I can do just enough to get it to just barely start to go. It's tricky to get the... And it should just take off nice and slow like it stops if I do it just right. There we go. I suppose we could do a horsepower rating here quick. 620 times 81. Okay, there's 50 horsepower right there. Chugging along like that. So that's not very often you can do that. Stop them dead and they'll take right back off again.